I have a motion to open session.
Make a motion to open open session.
Second. Roll call on that? Yes. Okay. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Deal,
Yes.
Dr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Prater, Mr. Pig,
Yes.
and Ms. Davis.
No.
Okay, motion passes. So we're going to go to new business, and according to the amended agenda, the first item is to act on a recommendation to extend the scope of investigation into previously filed complaints against the board member and a member of the personnel.
I make a motion that we accept that recommendation.
I second that.
Discussion on that?
I'd like to interject something that there's been a lot going on, and there's been a lot of things that have not been addressed from members of the public. And want to make sure that, in particular, we were all given letters from Mr. Chris Williams, and I've never heard one thing addressed on that particular letter. The man took his time to write a long letter, and we have not even shown the courtesy to answer that man's letter, nor has our counsel. So that's been how many months now? I want to put that out on record that that's unacceptable. And I think that
That's part of
in
the
this investigation, it needs to be addressed, but it should have been addressed long ago. It's gone way too long.
It's being investigated as we speak. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to act on the recommendation. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
The next item is to act on recommendation to censure a board member for violation of duties. In order for people to understand what's going on, I'm going to read this resolution. It's a little bit long, but it explains what this is all about. So this is resolution 21-07-06-01 of the Board of Trustees, Jefferson County Health Center. So I'm reading from this. Yeah, a special meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Jefferson County Health Center held on the 6th day of July 2021, in which a quorum was present. Following resolution was adopted effective immediately, censuring the conduct of Trustee Susie Davis. Wherefore, pursuant to the bylaws adopted by the Board of Trustees, the purpose of the Board of Trustees is to govern and control the affairs of the health center as provided by law, to discover and interpret the needs, attitudes, and interests throughout the county as a guide to developing and setting priorities for health programs for residents, exercise judgment in reviewing, considering, and voting on policies affecting the operation of the residents, businesses, and facilities within the county, and to oversee the management and fiscal control of the center as provided by law, and to review, evaluate, and judge the effectiveness of the center's program. And wherefore, further, pursuant to the bylaws adopted by the Board of Trustees, each individual board member shall work through the director and her staff to reinforce the efforts of the director and the staff so that they may perform their assigned responsibilities in the most effective manner. keep all citizens informed about the quality and condition of matters affecting public health in the county, and to assure that all transactions of the center are ethical, open, and above board. And wherefore, pursuant to the bylaws adopted by the Board of Trustees, members of the board shall attend all regularly scheduled Board of Trustees meetings insofar as possible. Members shall come to the Board of Trustees meetings informed concerning the issues to be considered. Members shall review the issues under the board's consideration and to take a respectful stand regarding those issues. Members must conform to tenets of knowledge, open discussion, respect, independent judgment, and civility, and should be prepared to cast a vote on each of the issues before that member. And whereas, further, pursuant to the bylaws adopted by the Board of Trustees, members shall work with other board members to establish effective board policies and to delegate authority for the administration of the center's facilities to the director. Members shall not attempt to bypass, undermine, or usurp the director's authority and responsibility for the daily operation of the center. And whereas further, pursuant to the bylaws adopted by the Board of Trustees, all meetings of the board are conducted pursuant to Robert's Rules of Order. And whereas Trustee Susie Davis has insisted on unaccompanied and unscheduled visits to health department offices, whereupon she has made audio and video recordings while in the offices and live stream them to her Facebook page, recording the identities of clients and confidential health information, as well as interrupting the conduct of business. Board chairman and director have offered several opportunities to meet to resolve these issues, yet Ms. Davis has either rejected them or not shown up for appointments in a timely manner. And whereas through the course of her tenure as a trustee, Ms. Davis regularly comes to board meetings late and unprepared. She does not adequately review the board packet provided to her in advance of the meetings so that she can take part in meaningful discussion. She's been offered the opportunity to ask questions of the chairman and director regarding information in her board packet prior to the meeting, yet she refuses to do so. Whereas Ms. Davis is routinely undermining the decisions of the board with regard to COVID-19 mitigation measures at the center, filing multiple protests and complaints demanding that she not be required to adhere to duly adopted resolutions of this board regarding the mitigation measures. And whereas Ms. Davis routinely uses her position as a trustee to undermine the public health initiatives of this board, including recommending vaccination and mitigation efforts for the residents of Jefferson County. And whereas Ms. Davis routinely undermines the authority and efforts of the director in running the day-to-day operations of the center and communicates with her and her staff in such a manner has resulted in numerous complaints being lodged by the director and her staff. And whereas Ms. Davis regularly refuses to adhere to Robert's Rules of Order for conducting meetings, routinely talking over other members, refusing to adhere to the question on the floor, attempting to utilize public meetings as a personal forum for airing of personal opinions. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Jefferson County Health Center that effective immediately, Trustee Susie Davis shall be and is censured and admonished to adhere to all bylaws, rules, and procedures of this board. Failure to perform her duties pursuant to the bylaws may result in this board taking action to impeach and remove her from her position. So that is the resolution. I have a motion to adopt the resolution.
Make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion?
Well, first and foremost, where's my copy of this? Question? Can you answer that? I said, where's my copy? Is this gonna be my copy? Okay. And what is the procedure now that you've made these allegations against me? What is the procedure that I have as a board member to adequate due process in order to refute, explain the things that you have mentioned throughout this document? Where is my,
We're having discussion at this point.
okay, so, I recommend that something like this would be tabled until I just received it today, that I could go over it with my attorney and adequately respond to the board and to the chair of the board to what my answer is to each and every item here on this, because I just received this today. I don't feel like it would be fair to me as a board member to vote on anything yet until I've been able to review this. If you're putting the cart before the horse, then it's not legally fair to me. And I realize that, there's personalities involved here. There's people that don't like me. Putting that aside,
It's not a question, it's David.
putting that aside, this, I've been elected by the people.
That's correct.
I represent the people. I represent the views of the people that contact me, that talk to me,
That's correct.
that, the things that I'm doing, a lot of what you're saying in here has to do with 69% of Jefferson County has voted in a
number-
particular way, and they have a
numbers-
particular view.
That number's out of thin air.
And it's not, it's in your paper at the last election, there was 69% of Jefferson County that voted Republican. So
This
it
is
was
not-
in
this
the
is
leader's
not
paper
a
after the last.
partisan- This is not as partisan.
I know,
issue.
it's not, it's really not.
So that is totally irrelevant.
Well,
And your statement is
it doesn't
incorrect.
matter. I'm not just representing a couple of people in the county. I'm representing a large number of people in the county. And if nothing else, I'm representing the people who have not chosen to get the jab.
That's
They
their-
haven't
that's their
chosen
choice.
because
That's their choice.
they know it's an experimental
That's
thing and they don't want to participate in that. And their rights to their own immunities should be honored and respected, and we shouldn't be.
None of that is in there.
I know.
None of that.
But
is
I'm
in
saying
there.
this on record, that I'm representing all these people.
You're totally wrong. That is
Why are you
not-
interrupting
that
me
is
when
not-
I have the floor? Just
Because
curious.
You are not addressing the issues. As is stated there, you want to state your personal opinions, which is fine, but that is not relevant to what. we're
How is it
doing.
my personal opinion when I say that I'm representing people in our county that have a view on something?
That's not what we're
And
discussing.
how can,
Ms. Davis, we're
how
discussing.
can
this
this board
resolution.
send your list some of the things in here that I'm doing as a duty to my position? I've taken an oath.
That's not in there. Ms.
I've
Davis.
taken an oath.
That's not in there.
I've taken an oath to protect, to
Mr.
protect the
Mr. Dean,
Constitution
I have
and
the
abide
floor,
by it,
Yes.
and I will. I will represent the people that are.
Because I just want to read a couple of things. Section 1, organization, this is in our bylaws, everybody can look it up on the internet, Article 1. And I'm gonna leave out the first sentence because it's talking about health center. It says, the center is established, maintained, and operated for the improvement of the health of all inhabitants of Jefferson County. In carrying out its responsibilities, the Board of Trustees, not individual, the Board of Trustees is guided by the desire to use the resources of its community and its staff to provide the highest quality health resources permitted by its financial resources. You have not been living up to that. That is the premier guiding principle of the health department. Everything else after this is in support of those statements. Now I'm
That's
gonna,
your
I'm gonna
opinion.
drop.
What
No,
in
it's not.
particular
That is
are you
actually
referring to, Mr. Pig?
the bylaws, Article 1,
No, how
Section
am
1,
I?
Article 1.
Be specific.
What are
How
you-
am I?
Oh, I have to
On
be
what?
specific. You're never specific. So I'm moving on. Here I will. Duties of the board and members. I'm going to drop down into addition. Members of the board and trustees will 1, work through the director and his or her staff. I think you failed to do it on numerous occasions. 3,
How have I not worked
am
through the
not
director?
done. You're jumping on me again.
Well, you need
Are
to
you
be
going to let me speak?
specific
Or
if
you're
you're
going
gonna
to
make
continue to bully
allegations.
everybody like you have been for years and years
What
and
you're
years?
doing right now is bullying.
No, I'm not. I'm actually stating what's in the
I'm
document.
asking you to give me
reading the
specific.
articles. I will move on. So underneath this on page 2, section 1, article 2, page 2, it says number 3 under the additional duties of the members is to reinforce the efforts of the director and the staff so that they may perform their assigned responsibilities in the most effective manner. When have you ever supported the director? You tell me. When have you ever supported the director?
When have I
When
not
have you?
supported her?
Well, we'll
Give me
just
a
go.
specific.
I don't have to. It's all on the board meetings.
Give me a
How
specific.
about when she, just specific, when she asked, hey, I wanted to get these vaccines brought in from St. Louis County, and you voted no. You voted no on bringing the vaccines in. The vaccines weren't mandatory. We're giving everybody access. You voted no. You don't care about people's health. You care about one thing. You're trying to drive something here that doesn't even exist. You're bringing this partisan politics up from the United States Supreme Court and all these Congress people, and you're bringing it down to this level. We're here for health. We're here for the health and betterment of the people, not any of this Second Amendment and this amendment. That's our purview. Now, you want to talk offline about that? More than happy, but that doesn't exist here. We're about the health, and you have not been a part of this. You keep driving this and you keep making her an enemy, and she's not. She's providing for the welfare, trying to help people that can't help themselves. We don't care about the able-bodied people. They're able to make their decisions. What about the elderly? What about the kids? What about the young? What about those infirm that are handicapped that can't make their decisions? And I'm sorry, I'm going to show here because one of our people. Anyway, I apologize. We need to get and focus on healthcare and taking care of our community and giving them the best advice we can to protect themselves. You have not done that. You continue not to do that. And I'm very, very tired of it. That's the purview right there. You read those sentences to provide the highest quality of healthcare, period. Now, I know people are upset because this, that, and the other thing, but I didn't ask them for a pinky to give me their cutoff or a pinky for crying out loud. People can make the decision if they want to have a vaccine. If they choose not to, if they choose not, and we've all said that, that's their choice.
That's all I've said.
You said a lot more than that. You voted no to allow the vaccines.
So what? I'm a board
sorry.
member. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yes, you are. Mr.
Yes,
Davis.
you are.
That doesn't
But
mean that
in
I'm
support of-
directly
You have on numerous occasions.
against what I'm standing in the way of doing what she.
Your video that you posted berating the other day, berating and harassing the director is completely and
Excuse
totally
me.
uncalled for.
That was
We all saw
me
it.
trying to
We
get
all
in here
saw
to
it.
perform
No.
my duty
No, it
as a
was
board
bullying.
member.
You were bullying her.
I was not bullying anybody.
I'm sorry.
I just recorded what
You were.
happened to me.
No.
Ms. Davis, that's what this is all about.
No.
All we're
Yeah.
asking you to
Everything you do
do,
is all about
Everything
bullying.
all
you.
we're asking you to do is to follow the rules.
Follow
That's
the
all
rule.
We're
It's,
asking you to, we have Robert's Rules of Orders,
yes,
we
We have the
have
bylaws that you're not-
policies, we have procedures. We're asking you to follow those. We're not asking you to change your opinions. We're not asking you to not vote your, however
Conscience.
you want to vote. That's fine. But once a vote is taken and the majority of the board rules, that's the policy of the health department. And if you don't want to follow that, that's a problem.
I don't see where I'm not following it.
You're
Give
only
me a
a board member
specific.
on this dais.
Excuse me?
Your visits to the health department is a perfect example.
Okay,
We
did you
have-
not sign me the month of June to come to the health department to inspect?
That's
Isn't that what our bylaws say to do?
Visit. No,
Board member comes
Visit.
to inspect.
Visit.
No.
Yeah,
Here, let
yeah.
me read it to you.
Visit.
Hold on,
You read
hold
it
on.
to me.
Ms.
Here, let's
Davis,
read it to you.
I
Hold on.
explained
No,
to you the policy.
This-
I can read
The
that.
public
for-
would probably like to hear this.
Yeah, well, which
Yeah,
Here's what the board member is supposed to do.
duties, one of the trustees shall visit and examine the health center.
And examine,
Examine.
and examine,
You don't have, you don't
Not
have.
visit.
You as an
not just
individual,
visit,
you
but
don't- You don't
examine.
have any oversight of this director. alone.
Why would a bylaw mention this kind of thing? Is it just supposed to be a tour?
can I explain?
Or is it
that?
supposed to be, we're supposed to oversee the department?
You have,
No, that's
as a board, total, not as an
It
individual.
says one member
Not
to
as an
go.
individual.
How can a board do that when one member is inspecting? You're talking out of both sides of your
No,
mouth.
I'm not.
No.
If you look at it, it says
No.
duties of the officers.
No,
If you look at that section, it says duties of the officers. Actually.
we're looking right at it right here.
I know.
To exercise
I know.
judgment and review, you
It
know,
also says members shall not attempt to bypass, undermine, and usurp the director's authority and responsibility
how would I
for the
be,
daily operations center. And you've
if
done
she's
that
in
on
her
numerous occasions.
office and she's doing her work and I am simply walking around and inspecting the health department according to the bylaws, then how am I usurping her authority?
Nobody goes on the company.
Nobody goes
On the
unaccompanied.
company. If you're
Well,
not a
that
worker-
defeats the purpose
No, it does
of
not.
of a bylaw inspection
Why does
visit.
it defeat the purpose? Explain that.
A bylaw inspection visit is designed by the people who wrote these bylaws years ago
And you weren't there.
For the
for
purpose
checks
of,
and balances.
for the purpose of people's information, I want to read an email that I sent to Ms. Davis. Purpose of the visits is in the bylaws, has always been to educate board members.
That's right.
This has historically been done at board meetings and or scheduled meetings with administration and staff. Depending on anything board members may be unfamiliar with or want to learn more about, presentations on programs and services can be arranged. The meetings are an opportunity to meet the staff. Questions can be asked and answered. During business hours, everyone is busy working with clients and performing their jobs. This can often take employees out of the office. Programs and services are provided on different days at different times. As a result, unscheduled visits will miss programs, services, and employees. They will also interfere with the conduct of business. Because you seem to insist on audio and video recording while in the offices,
No,
this is a
not
violation
while
of the
in the
privacy of
offices, in the
clients
lobby, when I was
in
denied
the
access
offices
to the office.
during
I
unscheduled
videoed
visits
that part.
and
I would never videotape inside the
Continue on, sir.
offices
And
or around
It's
any
always
client.
you're doing.
I'm just saying,
You're doing
that
what
your
you just-
allegations are false.
Well, you can say that after I'm finished, okay?
All right,
Potentially a violation of the confidentiality of personal health information or records that someone might see on an unscheduled visit. We take confidentiality and the privacy of our clients very seriously. You
Amen.
apparently.
and I do
not.
too.
You have been offered numerous opportunities to schedule visits accordingly. If you do so, Director and I were prepared to host a visit. You arbitrarily scheduled for 10 a.m. last week. When you had not arrived by 11:20, I sent you a message that we had other commitments and that you needed to reschedule. This is one of the many issues that must be resolved in order for you to become a productive board member. So that's what I sent you, explaining our policy and what's the bylaw say? You're making up your own interpretation of the bylaws. And so this is an explanation of why that's not appropriate.
The bylaws say this, Dennis. It says that you as a chairman are to appoint a member of the board
I did that.
you're supposed to schedule us a visit by a trustee. I'm a trustee and I had the month of June given to me
That's right.
on a rotating basis.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. So you did that. Okay. You said, Susie, you have June. Okay.
Mhm.
Then as my duty as a board member, when I go to the health department, is stated very specific here. It says, one of the trustees shall visit and examine the county health center at least twice each month. And this is section 205042 RSMO. That means that is a state statute. That's not just a resolution or a bylaw, but that bylaw was, we need to look at that, and we will, that section in that particular law in the state of Missouri
That's your.
is saying what, no, it's not my interpretation.
Yes,
This
it
is
is.
in the law of Missouri, mentioned right here. It says.
I just explained it to you.
So it's not, our bylaw visit is not designed to be a tour for the board member. The board member should be allowed at will to walk freely along inside the health department,
Absolutely.
to
not.
oversee, to look at, to examine, to ask questions,
I
to
just
ask
explained
for
to
a
you-
document
I
if they'd
just
like to see
explained to you
one,
why that-
to ask for
That doesn't
a
work.
reason why such and such is
All right.
done such and such way.
Let's move on.
It's
my,
an oversee.
Okay,
It's
I'm
not a
gonna-
tour,
I'm gonna
it's
call
not-
the question on the censure. If you want to respond to it at whatever point you want to, that's perfectly okay. So can I have a motion?
No, I
There's
still
already
have
been
the
a motion.
floor.
There's been a
You're,
motion and a second on the
We have a
floor.
motion.
My-
Second. Okay.
I'm
We have
asking that this be tabled.
All those in favor of approving the resolution that I read into the record, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Aye.
You're opposed. Censure passed. You want to respond to
I
it?
make a motion that we adjourn the meeting, sir.
I second.
Second, okay, discussion. Okay, all in favor of ending the meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you all.